Okay, so I always do a two-pronged approach. I have my Kangen water machines, I have my M-Guard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm sure you're excited to learn more about the M-Guard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to our first speaker of today, right? This guy, he knows everything about the M-Guard inside out. So let me just share. If you guys have some questions about M-Guard, hold your questions, write them down because chances are they will be answered throughout this session. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the resident M-Guard specialist, Mr. David Chang.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see all of you here. There's 278 people in this Zoom call. All right. So for those people who just got into the room, my name is David, and I'm the product trainer for this particular M-Guard technology for Energic. Okay. Now, without any further delay, I would like to call out my slides. I've got lots of information to share with you. And to be honest, all these information that I've been collecting is through my hard work of 7.5 years of research. Right. It is worth 7.5 years worth of hard work and research so that I can actually put it together and give it to you in less than 40 minutes. Okay, so today in my training, I'll be covering some of the basic concepts of how M-Guard actually helps. What are the benefits, why people bought into this device. And of course, towards the end, I'll be sharing some of the QR codes for you to scan in order for you to get into the marketing resources like the PPT, training videos and stuff like that. And of course, towards the last part of the training, I'll be covering some training on the demonstration tool as well. Because in the Energic business, we need to do demo, right? We need RLP meter, we need the pH tester, and the M-Guard, of course, we do have some demo tools as well. Okay, so we need to do some training on the demos too. So let's go into my slides. Hold on, let's call it out. There you go. Okay, are you guys seeing my screen? Yes? All right. If yes, then can I see maybe a number 2 in the chat box? All right, let me just call out. All good. So introducing Energic Japan's latest patented technology, the M-Guard. Now, I'd like to just bring you guys back into some of the perception here. All right, 30 years ago, I remember I was just a young kid, and the cars that we used to drive are, lesser electronic gadgets. There is no GPS in the car, lesser wirings as well. But today, we are talking about rechargeable cars. All right, cars that does not emit, carbon monoxide, but it actually emits certain energy, and we call it the EMR, which is electromagnetic radiation energy. Okay, so now when cars are rechargeable means there are additional energies in the car. And imagine in your car these days, you have got GPS system, all right, you've got different electronics, panels, touchscreen. Okay, no, all right. Sorry, I think there is something wrong with the sharing. Let me just do it again. Okay. Are you seeing the screen now? All good? Okay, now. So now, besides that, look at this. These are the homes that we used to live 30 years ago, I mean, this is a bit exaggerated, all right? But it was like this in certain countries, because not everyone comes from well-developed countries, all right? But today, look at the modern homes. We call it the modern e-lives. Homes packed with LED light bulbs, all right? Touch screens, smart TVs, Wi-Fi router, you name it. All right, so there are more and more upgrades in the house. At the same time, we're actually adding certain unseen or invisible energy into your living space as well. And we call it the EMR, electromagnetic radiation. Okay. And last but not least, this is the most important thing, our future generation. Now, when I was a little kid, I remember I used to play all these outdoor activities, like football, cycling on the field, running around, bottle caps. So what we do in Asia, this is what we do. I don't know what about you guys in US. I think you guys do lots of outdoors activities as well, like campings and stuff like that. Okay, but today, look at this. Our younger generations, they are bombarded with all these different gadgets, VR system, mobile phones, even laptops, iPads, stuff like that. And now this energy, it's invisible, and you can actually track it, using special tool. Now, my next important question to all of you here, I want you to just think deeply. All right. Now, when this thing happens, will it affect our health? Okay. So now there's a saying, documentation beats conversation. So let's take a look at some of the research paper. And PubMed, I believe for you guys in US, PubMed is no stranger to you. Okay. Because PubMed is actually coming from the National Library of Medicine. And just in case you guys don't know what's a PubMed, it is a free online search engine. And it runs by the US National Library of Medicine. And mainly, it includes articles like medical journals, health-related studies, and scientific research on diseases, treatment, and biology. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to share with you one of my findings through the PubMed article as well. Now, I found out that back in 2019, there is a research posted publicly in PubMed, and it goes like this. The title itself says, E-noise, an increasingly relevant health risk. Okay, now look at the highlighted points. E-noise is defined as signal from electronic products and instruments that emits radiation and electromagnetic fields. Okay, it is something that comes from all these gadgets that we've been using. Okay, now if you dive deeply into this particular research, there's a paper there, and I found out that these are the problems stated in this research paper. Now, according to this researcher, he believed that e-noise contribute to some of these problems, including fatigue, stress, headaches, and insomnia, all right? And I would like to invite you to take a look at the last paragraph here. It says, first, e-noise at home or in general environment may be genuinely threat to human health, okay? And will only increase in scope of popularity of personal computers and smartphones, okay? So just ask yourself today, how many of you here, you have a smartphone? All right, I believe some of you here, you have got more than one smartphones, okay? And the next question is, do you allow your kids to use these devices as well? Okay, now if the answer is yes, then my next question would be, how many hours do you use your mobile phones in a single day? Can I see your responses in the chat box? How many hours do you use your mobile phones in a single day? Okay, wow, look at that. All right, look at all that. Okay, there you go, 3 to 4 hours. Too many, 12, 3, 10. Now, some of you here, you're very conservative. You said less than 1, probably 3 hours. But let me give you a fact. Now, although my mobile phone now, it's on standby mode. I'm not even turning on the screen. All right. But as long as you place your mobile phone in your pocket or somewhere near you, which is close body contact area, like maybe your pocket in front of your chest or your pocket in your trousers, you're actually exposing to the mobile radiation as well, even though it is on standby mode like this. Okay, so let's say you have your mobile phones in your pocket and you're not using it, but you're walking around the shopping mall for 3 hours, then you're exposing to it 3 hours. All right, it's that simple. Now, the next important question I'm going to throw to you guys is, how many hours do your kids or your children use the mobile phones in a single day? Okay, just put that in, think a little bit, because I'm going to show you something which is pretty shocking. Okay, now according to my research, and according to one of the professor's research, now just 10 minutes of using the mobile phone, it is able to restructure something in your body. Okay, one of the living cells in the body. Now, let me introduce to you who's this professor. Now, her name is Dr. Magda Havers. To some of you in the US, I think she is no stranger to you. All right, she's a Canadian researcher, but she resided in the US. And her work focuses on the biological effects of the electromagnetic radiation. Now, 7.5 years ago, when I first did my research, I found this amazing research that they did, and she actually posted it in PubMed as well. All right. Now, Dr. Magda Havers is trying to show us that when we are living in a healthy, clean electromagnetic radiation environment, your red blood cell should look like this, which is over here. Look at my arrow, my cursor. Okay, at the bottom. So your red blood cell should be flowing freely like this, individually, bringing oxygens to the cells. At the same time, bring out the carbon dioxide, through the exhaling of your lungs. But according to her findings, when where we are using 70 minutes of computer, all right, desktops or laptops, your blood actually goes into this condition. And according to scientific term, this is called the rouleau formation. All right, means your red blood cell begins to stack together. We call it sticky blood. There is a lot of different layman terms. Okay, now, and what is more shocking is that after using the cordless mobile phone, her own rouleau formation went into a critical condition. Can you look at the top right? All right, top right sample. So this is actually her blood sample. And just 10 minutes of mobile phone use, the rouleau formation actually went to this condition. And some of you here, you're typing 3 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours a day. Can you imagine that? Okay. Now, if you watch a video, Dr. McDonald even mentioned that now this critical rouleau formation is what she normally sees in all her cancer patients' blood and also all her diabetic patients' blood. Now, in other words, people with cancer or people with diabetes will only have this condition. But this new finding is telling us that by just using your mobile phone for 10 minutes, you're seeing the same condition. So this is alarming, right? So now, when you have this condition, of course, these are the symptoms and consequences, all right? It promotes poor circulation, it promotes low oxygen transports, and more headache, fatigues, and stuff like that. So question yourself, some of you here holding a mobile phone. Now, while you're watching Netflix for 2 hours, any of you here, you feel that there is this numbness on your palm, you feel numb. You begin to feel numb on your palm by holding the mobile phone for just 1 to 2 hours, okay? Now, the symptoms are stated here. Numbness, all right? Tingling, cold extremities, okay? Now, what if today I share with you that by using the MGuard technology and through the harmonization process of the MGuard, a patented technology, we can potentially mitigate this risk, okay? So the next video I'm going to introduce to you, it's done in a medical clinic in Malaysia. And now this doctor is called Dr. Roland. And he believed so much in Dr. McDowell's research on rouleau formation. And what he did was he actually did the exact same test, on one of his client, and his name is Mark. Okay, I would like you to watch this video for 2 minutes before I continue my explanation on this.
So what we can do is you get on your phone for maybe close to about half an hour, holding it, and then we'll check again and see how does the capillary blood look like.
It looked like my first blood test result was clean, with no signs of blood clotting or blood clumps. But would just 30 minutes of cell phone usage really do any harm at all to my body? I hope not. Let's find out.
Let's have a look. So you can see all the cells now being stacked. See, all of them we cannot see those loose cells. You can.
Okay, now I'm going to pause the video here to further explain to you. So Mark actually did hold his phone for 30 minutes, all right? And during the first break, they discovered that the red blood cells condition, it's exactly what they saw back in Dr. McDowell's research. And Dr. McDowell's research was 10 minutes, and this is 30 minutes, all right? So it's identical, it's similar. Okay, let's continue the video.
See, most of the cells now all stacked
Bumped up together, right?
Exactly. Just look at that. The big message is always to try to reduce our exposure. It's almost impossible not to use, but try to be a bit more cautious in the usage.
The thing is, I know you say it's better to reduce. It's impossible for somebody like me. And I'm sure there's lots of people out there that also need to be holding their phones. So is there anything I can do?
This is the device that can actually help harmonize your electromagnetic frequency wave. And you want to see how it works?
Sure.
Come.
With the environment harmonizer turned on beside me, Dr. Roland and I proceeded to do a third blood test to see just how well this technology supposedly suppresses EMI. Okay, so this looks completely different to the last test, doesn't it?
Yep. Clearly looks different, lesser rouleau formation.
Now, are you guys seeing this? Okay, now MGuard has been made available in the market for the past 2 years and 3 months now. All right. And we've got countless of distributors that are actually repeating this test privately at their homes, or even they bring it to some of their certified nurses to do the same test. Okay. And they're getting the same results as well. Now, I would like to do a quick explanation here. Now, some people, they can actually see this before and after in just 15 minutes. And some people, it takes them 30 minutes. And some even went further. Some needs 40, 45. Okay, so 30 minutes is just a general guideline, but some of you here, you might need a longer time to say this. Okay, probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes. All right, it depends. Just in case some of you here would like to adopt this this test or experiment and you want to do it yourself, just give it a bit more time if you're not seeing the same results. All right, it will happen eventually. Okay. So now, besides Dr. Roland, of course, we have accumulated some of the other doctors' documentation as well. And this particular Dr. C so happened that he was curious as well as a medical doctor. He wanted to do the same thing. And let's listen to him, you know, what sort of results he got in from one of his patients as well while doing the same test.
Thank you. I'm Dr. C, a wife of husband of Grace Mary, who is a distributor. I have been recently for the past few months have been testing about the evidence whether this NGARD really can cause the microcirculation to be better. And usually I will do it on those who come to me. I prick the finger tip before they were exposed to NGARD. Then 20 to 30 minutes after they were with NGARD, I prick another time to see whether the Roro formation of the blood has been separated. Truly, of all the cases that I did, the Roro formation stopped and the red blood cells start to separate singly. And this is something very phenomenal and always true.
Okay, so is this not amazing? It is amazing. Can you imagine that? You know, the Kangen water is an amazing product. You know, people drink it for the past 2-3 decades. And now, Enagic has got another life-changing product, which is the MGuard as well. And look at it before and after 20 minutes of using it. Okay, so potentially MGuard, in a nutshell, it is resolving something fundamental. All right, the root cause to all diseases. Now, if let's say you guys are familiar with the Kangen water slides, you know, the Enagic Kangen water slides, there is this particular slide that explains about the root cause of cancer. It is by one of the Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Otto Warburg. And I remember in that slide, he mentioned clearly that there's two causes to cancer. The first one is acidosis, all right? And the second one is actually hypoxia, which represents lack of oxygen in the cell. So imagine when your blood went into rouleau formation, when there is poor circulation in the system. Now, in other words, it is actually bringing lesser oxygen to the body. All right, it is getting into hypoxia in a way when you expose yourself to high EMR environment. Okay, and MGuard can potentially mitigate that risk. All right, is that cool or cool? Okay, now the word I use is potential. All right, it's potentially. So now let's continue our training. So this is the next slide, and I gotten this slide from one of the medical doctor. I've went through a training as well. And I found it interesting that I would like to share with you, all right? Now, in this slide, it is talking about the background level of electromagnetic radiation have actually increased 1 quadrillion times. How many times? 1 quadrillion times. Now, imagine you have all these digits in your bank account, all right? How many generations can you fit with this money? But this is not money. The bad thing is this is not funds. These are not money. This is bad. All right, it is radiation. Now, for those people of you here, maybe you're not familiar with the word background radiation. Background radiation, it's a type of energy that is lurking around your environment, all right, without you sensing it. For example, let's say there's a radio channel coming to your room. You can't see the waves, but you're receiving the radio channel signal, okay? Now, some of you here, you're receiving your Wi-Fi already from your laptops, from your handphone. The Wi-Fi is coming from the router, which is somewhere around your house. All right, you don't see this energy coming to your phone, but it is there because your phone is well connected to the Wi-Fi. So this unseen energy, it's called the background radiation. And ever since then, it has escalated to 1 quadrillion times. All right, imagine what's going to happen to your next generation when there are more 5G towers, more and more invisible GPS systems and stuff like that. All right, now, picture paints 1,000 words. Okay, now I'm here to help you to understand and to see what sort of background radiation are we exposing to. So I did a small experiment, a little experiment. I went to 3 different environments and did a background radiation check. Okay, the first environment I went to was actually a natural setting when there is no building around me. All right, a beautiful park where a lake is situated right in the middle of the park. Okay, so I did the first test there using my special equipment, and let's take a look at the video, all right, before I explain further. Okay, folks, in this experiment, I'm going to test out 3 different settings in terms of background radiation noises, okay? And as you can see, I turn on my SDR software and tune it to 72 megahertz. And the background noises in this environment, it's very low. It's averaging at about negative 75 dB. You can notice on the left here, okay, it's negative 75. And let me show you where I am now. I'm actually in this beautiful natural setting. You can see the lake is right behind me and the trees as well. So in settings like this, all right, the readings are fairly low. And you can come back to the screen again. It's averaging at about negative 75 dB. Okay, it's very low. All right, so stay tuned for the next video because I'm going to show you another different setting, and I'm going to scan the area again to show you how high the background radiation is. Okay, now the first magic number that I would like to invite all of you to remember, it's negative 75 decibel. All right, so this is the first data I captured from a natural setting like this. Now remember when I was in this particular park, as I was drawing data from this environment, my phone can hardly get any signal in because there is no cell tower nearby. All right, it is right in the middle. Okay, now the second environment that I went to, okay, this is actually where I used to live when I was a young kid. All right, so now this setting is different because it is a housing estate. You got buildings, you got house around this house. Okay, so I'd like you to take a look at the next data I captured from this environment. Okay, folks. Now, back to experiment 2. This is where I used to live. And I've actually tuned the SDR software to the same setting, 72 megahertz. And if you can see, the SDR is registering a lot of background energy. These are the waterfall spectrum, the noise are here. And the dB scale is averaging at about negative 25 to about negative 20, you can see. As compared to yesterday, where we did the same experiment in the nature setting, where the SDR is actually registering a negative 75 dB, okay? And back here, what you're seeing here is actually the high tension cable. And this is actually the environment I used to live more than 30 years ago. Okay, let's take a look at the contrast again. And 72 megahertz, the background noise is obviously higher, it's negative 25 the average. Okay, are you guys seeing the difference here? All right, one it's negative 75 in average, and this one, if you look at the screen here, it's averaging at about negative 25 decibel, the peaks. Okay, now this is outdoor. All right, I'm going to bring you indoor. 2.5 years ago, I checked into this Airbnb premises, and I was trying to prepare my food in the kitchen. So what happened is that I turned on the lights, as usual, turn on the lights, and immediately I'm feeling this discomfort, like there is this tension on my forehead. It's like something is actually pressing into my head. All right. And as a technical guy, what I did was immediately I pull out my gadgets and I want to do a quick test, in the kitchen. Why, whenever I turn on the lights, I feel this pressure. All right. Now, in the medical terms, it is called the EHS. All right. And EHS stands for electro hypersensitivity. Okay, it means I'm actually sensitive to these problems. All right. So let's take a look at the video before I explain further. It is in an indoor setting in an Airbnb premise. Hey guys, this is something pretty shocking. We rented this Airbnb and I've started to experience this unexplainable headache whenever I go near to the kitchen and prepare the food. So what happened was we got this gadget here. So remember, I always say that our human body organs aggregate frequency is around 55 to 90. And we found that 72 is actually the brain frequency. So I'm going to hook up the software here to identify whether what causes my headache, because 72 is actually the frequency of your brain. So over here in this setting, we got two LED lights, one above us, another one is actually the small one over here. The switch is over there. Okay, the switch is over there. So let me turn on the first switch of the LED, and I want you to see the noise spectrum from the LED lights. The first light. As I turn on the first LED light, as you can see, the noise spectrum came in at 72 megahertz. And the flux itself stretches from 72 all the way to about 72.3 and all the way down to about 73 megahertz. Okay, this is the first LED. And if I turn on the second LED above my head, which is the top one, I want you to see that the noise field spectrum actually goes into a darker color. Okay. So let me show you the LED. This is the first one. Okay, this is the first LED. And I got my antenna right above, and the second LED is actually above my head. And as you can see, the spectrum here, the noise became darker and darker. Ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing this? By just turning on the LED, I'm actually adding on to the background radiation in the kitchen space. All right. And this software, which is called the SDR software, it's able to capture this intense energy from the LED itself. And all I did was I'm just turning on the LEDs one by one. I did nothing else. And the energy is captured around here. And look at all these pointing peaks as well. Okay, now let me put everything together in one slide so that everything will be more clearer to you. I've actually combined all this data. Now, the first one, if you can still recall, I did this in a natural setting and the data captured was negative 75 dB. Okay, now the second environment I did was outdoor, which is the place I used to live, where there's high tension power lines going on, stuff like that. And if you do an actual dB calculation in terms of how many times, you know, in addition to the background radiation, it is approximately 100,000 times. All right, the increment of the background E noise, it's at least 100,000 times. Now, if I were to compare the indoor setting in the kitchen against the natural setting in the park, the increment of the dB scale, it's approximately 316,000 times stronger or more radiation. All right, now seeing is believing. And if let's say I do not do all this experiment, I didn't do all this test, and maybe some of you here, I don't feel anything. I'm just in my normal living room, you know, turning on my lights in front of my laptops, attending a Zoom training, without knowing that there is actually background energy that's lurking around you, and it is that intense. Now, this explains that why some people, when you're in a certain environment, you actually feel discomfort. All right, some people have an unexplainable headache, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, right? Now, these explain it all, okay? Because you're exposing to an invisible energy that is constantly affecting you day in, day out. Are you still with me? If you're still with me, can I see a number 8 in the chat box so that I know that you guys are still in the Zoom meeting? Thank you very much for the impromptu responses. That encourages me a lot, all right? That gives me lots of energy. Now, let's carry on. So now, documentation beats conversation. Earlier on, I was telling you that all my gadgets are tuned to a specific frequencies that MGuard is working on, okay? So one of the most important frequencies that MGuard harmonizes is actually at 72 megahertz. And why particularly at 72 megahertz? Now, based on this research paper, this researcher found out that the aggregate frequency of the body organs lies between 55 megahertz to about 90 megahertz. All right. And look at 72. 72 megahertz is actually the aggregate frequency of the normal brain activities. All right. So some of you here, like early on, I was showing you the Airbnb demo. I tuned to 72. All right. And when I turn on the LED lights, there are energy captured in 72 megahertz. And what happens? When there is same frequency in the environment, it is actually resonating with the aggregate frequency of my brain. It is resonating. That's the reason why I'm experiencing this unexplainable headache. Okay, so I'm trying to connect the dots to you so that everything makes more sense. Okay, all right. So there's reason why in all our demos, we are selecting 72 because 72 megahertz is one of the many other frequencies that MGuard is working on. Okay. So now back to this, a quick demonstration on MGuard. So I was in Hong Kong a couple of months back to do the MGuard training for the Hong Kong distributor. Okay. Now, shockingly, when I arrive in Hong Kong, every time when I go there, before I turn on the MGuard, I always have this, unease, pressure, on my forehead as well. Because if you look at Hong Kong, this is how they live in Hong Kong. The density is so high that the building is literally next to each other. There's no space for them to breathe. All right, it is that crowded, all right, in Hong Kong. So what I did was, as a technical guy, I wanted to find out what sort of environment am I living in. I was checked into the hotel, and straight away I pulled out the same gadget that I did all the experiments on, and I would like you to see a shocking phenomenon, all right, in Hong Kong. Let's take a look at this video. Okay, guys, I'm in the middle of the Hong Kong city, and I would like to test the background radiation level in my hotel room, okay? So I've actually pulled out my SDR software and tuned it to specifically 72 megahertz. And this is actually the data that's been capturing from my SDR software. If you look at the decibel here, it's averaging about negative 25 decibel, okay? Now that's before I turn on the LED lights. Now what happens when I turn on the LED lights now? Okay, the lights are on. And if you notice, the average dB increases from negative 25 to about negative 20. Okay, look at the peaks there, all right? So what I have here is my MGuard next to the window. So let's see what happens when I turn on the MGuard. 3, 2, 1, go. There you go. So it harmonizes 72 megahertz and it suppresses the radiation to about negative 55, as low as negative 55 in average. Now let's do a contrast by removing the power line. Immediately the radiation comes back to negative 25 to 20 and go again. There you go. So MGuard is able to protect you in situations and environments like this. All right. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I did here is I've just completed the entire MGuard demo in 1 minute. It's that simple. And that's just 1 minute. I'm showing you what sort of background radiations I have in my environment. After that, I explained to you the dB scale. I pull out my MGuard. I plugged it in. I plugged it out. It's just like the pH test, show you the contrast, and that's it. And this is a 1 minute MGuard demo. It's that fast. All right. We call it the 1 minute elevator speech. And you don't even have to say anything. You just have to show this video to your prospects and they will understand, they get it. Okay. So this is what MGuard is actually doing in the environment. It is harmonizing targeted electromagnetic noise radiation, all right, within a 4 meter radius. Now, before I proceed with the technical specs, I'm going to go into one of the research here. Now, this research paper is did back in 2019, all right? If you look at all these results that is drawn, now out of 871 respondents, I would like you to focus on the top 5 issues, that they themselves felt, by exposing just to the EMR, all right? Now, 71% of them experience sleep problems, okay? 64% of them experience fatigue. 61% of them experience concentrating, memory, and learning problems. And of course, 60% of them experience stress and anxiety, and 52% out of 871 people experience headache. Now, if you look at the top 5 problems, that they personally explains, if you look at all this, do you feel that all these problems are actually related something to the brain or to your head? All right, for example, headache, something to do with the head, right? Stress and anxiety is a mental issue. It is a mental problem. All right. Concentration, memory, and learning problems. It is mental problem. All right. It's got something to do with the head, sleep problem as well. Because your brain, it's the organ that is responsible to create the chemical called melatonin. And melatonin is supposed to make you sleep or to make you sleep deeper at night. And imagine if, let's say, your brain is jeopardized with all this unseen EMR energy, it is going to do something, it's going to affect the functionality of the brain as well. So the top 5 problems reported here are related to your brain as well. And that's the reason why MGuard harmonizes one of the most important radio frequencies at 72 megahertz. All right. Of course, there are many other frequencies that it's working on, but these are all trade secrets within the Enagic company. Okay, because up to now, there is no competition for the mGuard device. Okay, so in other words, only Enagic owns this technology, and only through an Enagic distributor, the market is able to enjoy the benefit of this technology. Okay, now let's proceed. So how do the mGuard work? Very simple. It covers you 4 meters to your left, all right, 4 meters to your right, 4 meters top, bottom, front, back. It is a circumference. Okay, the harmonization zone is not a straight line, it's not linear, but it is a 3D circumference. Okay, so it actually suppresses targeted high frequency electromagnetic noise radiation at up to 1000 megahertz of range. Okay, so why do they harmonize up to 1000 megahertz? Because the most important frequencies that they harmonize is actually between 30 to 300 megahertz, okay, where most of your body organs aggregates frequency is working around that. Earlier on, I was showing you results that your body organs aggregate frequency is working between 55 megahertz to 90 megahertz, if you can still recall that slide, all right? And 1000 megahertz falls within that as well. Okay, it is protecting that important region. Okay, so these are the common technical specs that you can see. It covers all the way up to 8 meters in diameter. All right, it's very simple. It's plug and play stuff. All right, all you need to do is to connect to the right adapter. Make sure that it is 5V. All right, and the amperage is between 2 ampere to 6 ampere, and you are good to go. All right, it is very simple. There is no maintenance. There's no filter change. No, there's no maintenance to this device. It's a plug and play device. It's very simple. Okay. Now, I'm going to just touch a little bit on one of the laboratory documentations that mGuard went through so that you guys have got some documentations to show its efficacy. Okay. Now, this report is generated by University of Science of Malaysia. Okay. And it is headed by a team of 6 people. And the professor who chopped and sealed this test report is actually Dr. Yam. And he himself, he owns 4 PhDs. He's a 4 PhD holder. Okay. So if you look at this test, they actually put mGuard into a test evaluating its functional range all the way up to 6 meters in radius. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the data here. All right, there you go. So they put mGuard into test in some targeted frequencies. If you realize, all the way up to 6 meters, if you look at the percentage of suppression, mGuard works in certain situation, it is above 50%. And in certain situation, it is above 90% as well. Okay, so generally, if you conclude the entire data here, mGuard works, or it is able to suppress the electromagnetic noise radiation up to 6 meter radius. And in average, it's more than 75%. Okay, so now this particular full report is made available for you as well to download. And later on, I'll be sharing you with the link on where can you download these reports as well. Okay, don't worry about this because we'll be sharing all these informations with you. So these are some of the data they captured from the report. Okay. So in conclusion, this is a certified conclusion that the mGuard electromagnetic noise radiation harmonizer successfully reduced unwanted electromagnetic noise wave between these frequencies in all test environment until a 6 meter coverage in radius. Okay, all right. So as a conclusion, now when we're in sync with the mGuard harmonized zone, we can potentially lower our risk from the negative effects of the EMF affecting our sleep, energy, microcirculation, and rouleau formation. Okay, so this sort of like sums up what mGuard can actually do in a nutshell. Okay, now I've seen lots of questions in the chat box. Now don't worry, because these resources are there to help you to understand some of the questions. I've been seeing all these questions there. Okay, now when you get to the mguard.com, which is the second QR code from the left. Now in the mguard.com, there's actually a list of FAQ questions. And I believe most of our questions will be answered in that particular segment. Okay, and the mGuard to the World Facebook is the latest creation. And we actually put in all the videos, important messages, everything is there. Okay, you just go there go to guides, and you get to see all the different syllabus that we actually put in, and you can go through this 12 guides and you'll be master of the mGuard in no time. Okay, so just take a screenshot from your phone or your laptops, and these are the QR codes for you to get your resources or the PowerPoint slides as well. Okay, we upload everything, including the videos and PowerPoint slides, made available for you to download. Okay. All right, now I'm going to just go very quickly through the demonstration tools before I pass this important stage to the next speaker. So in my videos and my presentation, if you notice, there is only 2 demonstration tools that I would like to share with you. Now, the first one on the left is actually called the RTL SDR dongle. Okay, so this particular demo tool only works with an Android phone. So make sure that you have an Android phone before you purchase this tool. And this is actually the same tool that the laboratory is using, you know, to capture the data as well. So I'm actually using the same tool that they use to capture the data. All right, but unfortunately, it is only compatible with an Android phone. So for you Apple lovers, I know in US, most of you here, you're using Apple, all right? So unfortunately, through the iOS, you can't download this particular SDR software in the Apple phone. So, but we have solutions for you, okay? We have another SDR tool called the Bajie SDR. And this Bajie SDR, it's a built-in SDR. You don't need the phone to connect. You don't need the phone to activate this. It is a built-in device, all right? It's just plug and play. And we have a setup manual, which is through this QR code. You get to learn how to set this up as well. Now, besides that, for duplication purposes, we have actually created a step-by-step video to educate all of you here how to get this stuff, all right? How to actually install it and how to tune it as well. For example, for the SDR tool that we've been using in the Hong Kong video, we actually created this, how to install the SDR in your Android phone. And it is actually a step-by-step guiding videos like this. So you can actually take a look at all this step-by-step video during your free time. All right, it's going to teach you how to get to the Play Store, how to get the app, you have to pay for the license key, and how to actually activate this tool. It's a step-by-step process as well. So for duplication purposes, you can actually set this particular video to your downlines and they can actually hook it up to the phone. You don't have to redo it for them. Okay, so it's for duplication purposes as well. So I'm not going to play the full video here. Please do some homework and you guys get to learn all this, you know, through your personal learning time as well. Now, the next tool that I just mentioned, now for those of you here who do not have an Android phone, you might need the Bajie as well, because the Bajie, it's more convenient and it's like an all-in, built-in SDR device. You don't need the Android phone to activate this, okay? So let's take a look at how Simon and myself is going to do a quick demonstration on this particular demonstration tool before I explain further.
Hi everyone, today I'm very excited to share with you another great marketing tool that you can use for your mGuard demo. It's called the Bajie SDR detector. And what I love about this detector is it has a big screen and it's very easy to set up and use. It's not affected by static interference. And it also has a loudspeaker for you to use during your mGuard demo. You'll know what I'm talking about later on. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce David right there. David, say hi to the camera. Hello. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a before and after mGuard test using the Bajie. All right, and I want you to see the difference on the screen. So I'm going to turn on the detector. And once it's turned on, the first thing you can see is this waterfall spectrum that comes down. And what you will notice is I've actually tuned the Bajie to 72 megahertz because that is the operating frequency of our brain. And you would notice the noise radiation level here via the dB scale. All right. And these are all the data of the noise radiation. So I'm also going to turn on the speaker for you guys to hear. All right, and in a count of 3, David's going to turn on the mGuard, and I want you guys to see the difference. In 3, 2, 1, go. Take a look at that. All right, so what you will notice is instantly the dB scale noise level has reduced, and the green color wave spectrum has already been cleared to a very dark blue color, which means this area is cleared off of the noise interference. All right, so let's do another test. Let's pull out the mGuard again, turn it off, and you would see everything comes back instantly. And now with the mGuard turned on again, you would see instantly the results. So this is simply amazing, right? Now the Bajaj is able to really showcase what the brain and our organs are going through every single day, and it's able to convert something that is invisible into something that we can see and experience, all right? So this is the short demo for the Bajaj SDR detector, right? So mGuard aims to create an environment for all of its users into a peaceful and serene environment. All right. So if you want to know where to get the Bajaj SDR detector, it's available on most of the e-com websites. I will put the model name at the end of this video for you guys to go and purchase your detector. Happy mGuarding.
Okay, so to make sure that you guys are getting the correct spec for this demo tool, I'm going to post a QR code later on some of the e-com's website, we found from Alibaba.com as well. Okay, so you can actually go right there and purchase the correct model. And some of you here, if let's say you have got a link to your eBay or Amazon e-commerce website from the States, you can purchase the same model as well. Just make sure that you're getting the same model. All right. So we also created this video. Okay, my team has put lots of effort in this. And this is actually a step-by-step video to teach you how to tune the Bajaj SDR when you receive the product from the e-commerce website, because it is solely a third-party product and you need to learn how to tune. So I'm not going to play the entire video, just a quick example on, this video. And this video is made available from the mGuard to the World Facebook page as well.
When your detector screen looks like this and you want to change the setting, you have to press the knob and twist it. Do not release the knob. All right? Only until you've reached your destination, then you release the knob and you twist again. So press the knob, do not release it, and then once you've reached your...
There you go. So you realize it is actually a step-by-step, dummy guide to teach you or to educate you how to actually tune the Bajaj SDR when you receive your product from the e-commerce website. All right. So we have got all these resources for you, and you can actually forward all this to your downlines, and this is the process of duplication in marketing. All right. It's very important. So now next, Dr. Roland, remember the live blood analysis where he did this rouleau formation test before and after. So now if some of you here, you are curious about this and you wanted to hire maybe a certified nurse or a doctor to help you to do the same process, you can actually follow this template as well. We have got all these guidelines. All right, make sure that you need to have a fasting of 2 to 3 hours, no food, no Kangen water. Okay, so follow these guidelines, and I believe that you'll be getting your own result as well. Okay, because sometimes it is very important for you to film your own results and you share it with your prospects or your family members as well. So this is very important as well. Okay, so this is a step-by-step guideline to actually teach you how to do or to repeat the same demonstration did by Dr. Roland back then. Okay, and of course, books are important. And I think in the Kangen business, Dr. Shinya's book, it's one of the, we call it the important Bible for the business, because in Dr. Shinya's Enzyme Factor, he mentioned how he uses the Kangen water to actually help his patient, suffering from all ailments as well. So this book is actually written by Dr. Pinky, all right, and she's from the Philippines, all right, a beautiful country. And in her book, she actually writes about all this hidden danger about the EMR exposure and all that. And in her book, she also narrates how the mGuard technology actually helped her family, especially her husband, all right, who's working on a computer for a very long time. So for those of you here who like to have a reference of books written by a medical doctor, this is one to get. I believe it is available in Amazon as well. All right, okay. Okay, and last but not least, I'm going to leave the screen here. And this is actually the suggested link for you to get your Bajaj and the RTL on a legitimate e-commerce website. Just in case, you just go here. These are the correct, we have did some research, and these are the correct models that you can purchase it from, right? Besides your local e-commerce website. So this is from the source. Okay, there you go. Now with that, I would like to thank all of you here, all right, for listening to this particular training, and don't worry if let's say you're coming in halfway through, you missed it out. we'll be having a recording to the training, and later on we'll be sharing this training on some of the Facebook pages as well. Okay, so with that, I'd like to conclude my training, and I'll be getting into some of the questions from the chat box, and I would like to pass this time back to Mingwei. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David, for your valuable time and your valuable knowledge. Every time I listen to David speak, I get more and more confident about this amazing product, MGuard. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big thank you to David? If you guys got your cameras on, just smile at him, right? So that we know that we're appreciating you. So, thank you so much again, David. And right now, we are going to go into the main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, who here would like to learn from Mr. MGuard himself, the guy who took MGuard and exploded his Enagic business, Mr. Simon Low? In fact, I believe many of us here already know who he is. And if you don't, let me introduce him to you. Simon is my good friend of about 18 years. He's been with me in the Enagic business for the past 9 years. And when he first heard about this amazing product, MGuard, he just finished expanding his business into Nigeria, Africa. So he was there for almost a year. He just came back to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He was looking to get some rest and relaxation in. Suddenly, we launched MGuard, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I cannot waste a second of my time on this amazing opportunity. I must go all out massive action on this project." When he was at the launch event, he was only a 6A2 distributor. He was surrounded by -2, -3, -4, -5s. But he said, "It doesn't matter. Even though I'm only a 6A2, I will take this. I will be number one." So he went out there, he learned all about MGuard, he learned all about the business, he masterminded and brainstormed how to maximize his business with MGuard. And then he went out there into the field, did a lot of mistakes, did a lot of trials and errors, but he eventually made it into one of the number one top sales in the world for MGuard. And that is my friend, Mr. Simon Low. And by the way, guys, when he joined, he was 6A2. Not long after using MGuard in his business, he became a -2. Then he became a -3. Then he became a -4. In fact, he became -2, -3, -4, right? You guys want to know how long, guys? You guys want to know how long? He did it in only 11 months. Can somebody say wow? Type in the group chat, guys. Wow. Who here is like amazed just like I am? Wow. So if you guys are ready to learn, turn on your cameras, put on a great big smile, and give a lot of energy to our special speaker of today, Mr. Simon Low.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, Mingwei, for the warm welcome as always. I've been friends with Mingwei for over 18 years. You know, been friends with him for over 18 years. And it's great to be on this call. I think we announced this call a little bit like on the last minute, like a couple days before the call, but yet about 300 of you guys showed up. So I want to really appreciate everybody coming to this call. I know it's about 10 p.m. Eastern for some of you, right? And I think you guys have gotten a lot of value from Mingwei and David so far. If you have gotten a lot of value from the call so far, type 1 in the chat box. Because I tell you, let me tell you this, Brandon, how's it going, man? Good to see you, brother. Mehdi, good to see you, brother. All these guys are on fire. So, I mean, I've gotten so much value. In fact, I mean, I know David so well, and in fact, myself and David, we live about 10 minutes away from each other. But yet again, I learned so much every time from him, and everything I know about MGuard, I learned it from him. Because just like you, before MGuard was introduced, I was in the Kangen business. I was selling Kangen. I was doing Enagic for a good 8 years before the MGuard was launched. And I just got so excited when the MGuard was launched, and I just went berserk. Like a lot of people ask me, what did you do and all that, right? So somebody is asking in the chat box, how can he buy the the MGuard. If I can get the admin team to post up the link. It's on the link. You can also can post up the link in the chat box. Or Jordan, I think Jordan's the one repeatedly asking. You can go to your DSS, click on MGuard tab. It also brings you to the link. But okay, thank you, Elin. Somebody has actually posted it, the link in the chat box. Okay, good. All right, so I need some help from the team to answer some of the questions in the chat box as I do my training. All right, so once again, everybody, welcome to this call. A good evening to everybody. My name is Simon from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And I'm very honored to be here speaking in front of you. And I met a lot of you guys over in San Diego or some of the other offices that we've been to, like New York, the LA office, Toronto office, and where else did we go? Vancouver office, you know, all these places. And it's just, we had a ball, right? Ryan, how's it going, man? So it's a very exciting opportunity. Somebody said, come to Sydney. They didn't give me my visa. They didn't give me my visa. The Australian government denied my visa. I wanted to go. They didn't want me to go. Am I gonna go there and work in a restaurant or something? Right? So I didn't get a visa. So it was really funny. Anyways, I'll try again. So so today I have a very special session for you guys, and I'm very excited actually for this opportunity because it has really helped me transform my life. It has really helped me level up my business and everything in my journey in Enagic. I had a very good journey in Enagic up until let's talk about just before the MGuard. I had a really good journey. Like I had a lot of success. I opened up a couple markets, including Dubai, Turkey, and Nigeria. I spent about a year in Nigeria before I came back home, and I wanted to chill out for a little bit. But the thing is, that was the moment when I came home. That was when MGuard was launched. And when I saw the opportunity, I saw what the product can do. I was listening to David. At that time they had a 6A2 or 6A and above meeting. I can't remember. Was it 6A or 6A2? They had it for the leaders. So they did it like a month prior to the launch. And when I was sitting there in the seminar room, and when somebody told me that, hey, Simon, you have to come to this meeting because there is a new product of Enagic. I said, new product? Is it a 10-plate machine, 15-plate machine? I don't know. What are you talking about? Right? They said, oh no, it's got something to do with radiation. I said, what radiation? Like nuclear radiation? You know, stuff like that. I said, no. Electromagnetic radiation. I said, what is that? He said, oh, it's the stuff that comes out from your phone. Right? I said, oh, interesting. So I went ahead and I attended the meeting. And when I saw the demo, when David was doing the demo, I saw how easy and eloquent and just saw how simple the product is. And the impact that it had on me was immense. I immediately decided I'm going to buy this product for myself. In fact, in my home, I have about 3 MGuards all set up across the home. And I have another one to travel whenever I go overseas. All right. And I have a couple that I give out as loans. So in fact, later at 2:00 p.m., I'm having another meeting because I have a customer that wants to try out the MGuard for a week. All right. So I'm passing him my MGuard. And after a week, the moment he feels better and he sleeps better, he's going to buy the MGuard, I'm pretty sure. So that got me really excited, and spending a year in Nigeria did add to the excitement because when I was over there, I had a lot of trouble making sure that the water source was good for the Kangen machine. So the funny story was, I shared this in San Diego. The funny story was when I went to Nigeria, the average tap water pH in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria specifically, was a pH of 3.5 to 4. Tap water. I'm talking about water that they use to brush their teeth, make their coffee, make their tea, cook, clean, everything. 3.5. Ladies and gentlemen, I was like, I've never seen this before. I don't know what to do with it. So when I hooked up the machine and they connected with the machine, the 9.5 came out, pH 6. That was beauty water. I was like, it's supposed to be Kangen. So I had a lot of troubles, and I had to find a lot of ways, like pre-filters, adding stuff and increasing the pH, reducing the acidity, and that took me a lot of work, a lot of nightmare. And there are certain places, even until today, no matter what you do to the water, it doesn't work. So there are literally sales I had to turn away because I need to be ethical. If I know that the machine couldn't work, I said, no, I mean, I don't think you can put it here. Is there another location you can put the machine? And that was what I went through in Nigeria. It was insane. So, but even with despite all the challenges, we managed to recruit a lot of people, and I have currently a 6A2. He should be coming to Dash 2 really soon, and many 6As and 5As and 4As and tons of 3As and 2As all across Nigeria. And we also have our Enagic Nigeria office, which is the first African branch. So I'm really proud of it, proud of my team. And that was when I saw the MGuard. I saw that there was no water source problem because I always ask my team, do you see any hoses hooked up to this? No, it's a USB. It's a USB-C cable. It's not a water hose. And you don't really need to do any maintenance. You don't have to figure out how to fix the machine and stuff like that. So it's easy, right? And I got excited about that. So today, my topic for the last stretch of tonight's training, and the title of the topic is Enagic 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, Enagic 1.0 was so exciting with the Kangen machine taking the world by the storm. In fact, can you see that when, like said, myself and Mingwei, whenever we do the Zooms, you can see the MGuard is always set up. And I have my Kangen bottle always set up because, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be the product of the product. You have to show the people that you're using it. So I want to inspire upon you that the next time you're doing one of your team meetings, team calls, have your Kangen bottle set up, have your MGuard set up to show to people that you're not just selling something, you're using something and you're sharing with them. Right? That's powerful. So Enagic 2.0, it is the next phase of Enagic. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the next 50 years. It is when Enagic is looking to introduce more products into the company. And let me ask everybody a question. Is it good for you as a distributor if the company introduces more amazing products like the MGuard into the system for us distributors to share with the market to increase our sales? If that's good news, type good in the chat box. Because one thing that I'm trying to get my own team to get out of their head, and a lot of people even on this call, is Enagic is not a Kangen water company. In fact, I was in Manila with Mingwei. We had a Manila event down in the Philippines about a week ago, and we had a 6A2-3 meeting, and Mr. Tomo, which is the global sales director from Enagic, said, Enagic is not just Kangen water company. They started with Kangen, but now we're introducing more products like the MGuard, like the Kangen Air, like the Ukon, Anaspa. So it is turning into a wellness company. So do not be fixated that, Enagic, water. No. If that's your mentality, you're going to get stuck and you're going to lose out on a lot of opportunities. All right? So Enagic 2.0, a very exciting time because the next 50 years, or let's not talk about 50 years, the next 10 years of Enagic is going to be 10 times more exciting than the previous 10 years. And I can guarantee you that. I can see it already. So who here, you're excited for the Enagic 2.0? Type me in the chat box. Right? So I think David did an incredible job talking about the MGuard and its benefits and all the things that it can do for people. I've been using it for over 2 years. I sleep like a baby. In fact, sometimes I sleep so much I couldn't wake up. My alarm goes off at 6:30. I wake up at 8. That's a problem, right? So it happens. So who here you're sleeping better with the MGuard? Type 1 in the chat box. Are you sleeping better? Type 1 in the chat box. Who here is sleeping better? Who are you getting better? When you're waking up fresh. Because I know a lot of people, when they wake up, let's not talk about other people. Me, myself, I could have an 8-hour sleep. I could have 8 hours sleep. And when I wake up, I still feel tired. I could have sleep for 10 hours. I wake up, I still feel tired. Right? But the moment I had the MGuard, and I turn it on, I could have like a 6-hour, 5-hour sleep. I wake up, I'm fresh, right? And I'm ready to rock and roll. So it has made a huge impact on my sleep and my energy, my mood, my emotions, all these kind of things. Because we learned from David that there are so many frequencies that messes up with our brain. And it is our brain that regulates the sleep, the melatonin, the hormones, all these things that helps us go into deep sleep, go into REM sleep at night. And that was the biggest takeaway for me. I don't care about what other things the MGuard can do, but the moment it can give me the best sleep of my life, that is well worth $1,500 or whatever that we're paying for this. Even if it's 10 times the price, I would pay for it, right? And after that, you got the blood circulation and all that kind of stuff. So it's incredible. It's incredible. All right. So, okay. So how big is the MGuard market? All right. How big is the MGuard market? Look at this. These are things that are going on in our daily lives. In the US, in North America, those of you guys over there, you guys are the pioneers of electric vehicles, right? And then the Chinese have their own brands, Americans have their own brands, the Koreans have their own brands, and now it is taking the world by the storm. Many people are switching from combustion engines to electric vehicles. But we have to understand, of course, it's not going to kill you. But the thing is, when you're sitting in a car that literally has 2 or 3 or even 10 battery packs that is big enough to power up the entire car for 300 miles, is going to emit a lot of radiation, right? Whether is it going to be detrimental to your health or whether it has no effect on your health, that depends on you. But it emits a high level of radiation, right? And people talk about it. All right. Yeah, in the long run, Fraser says, right. Yeah, somebody said, let me read something. And Andrea said, I test drove a Prius Prime and got a headache from it. I didn't have my MGuard yet. Yeah, I get the same thing. I go into a Prius hybrid, right? I get a headache. I don't feel good. Yeah, so all these things. AirPods, right? People go to the gym, they go work out, they have their AirPods on. All right, so these are the things that we're having every day. And then all these phones and gadgets that some of you already answered, you spend 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. In fact, on the iPhone, there's an app that tracks how many hours a day you're on your phone. And let me tell you this, I'm not somebody that's truly addicted to my phone. I use it a lot, don't get me wrong, but I'm not somebody that can't live without the phone. Oh, where's my phone? Where's my phone? No. But even for a person like me, I spend an average of 6 hours on this thing. There's an app to track it. How does it track it? The moment you're connected to Bluetooth, the moment the screen is on, the moment a video is playing. That's how they track it, I think. 6 hours, right? So the moment, the fact that once you understand the impact, so I believe that you truly become very powerful in terms of selling the MGuard, in the MGuard business. The moment that you realize that the moment you put an MGuard in somebody's home, you're not selling them something, because you know they're exposed to all these kind of things, right? So the moment you have an MGuard in their home, you guys are not salespeople when you market the MGuard, because when you know the harmful effects, you guys are lifesavers. That's how I see it. Let me put it to you this way: everybody needs insurance, right? Or Medicare, insurance. Let's talk about insurance. Everybody needs insurance. Now, what if I tell you you don't have insurance? Oh, then you get a little bit fearful. You want to get some insurance. But today, I look at the MGuard not as a luxury premium product that only the rich buys, right? I look at it just like insurance. It is a necessity to every single household, every single individual. Because without it, you're going to be exposed to this kind of risk for the rest of your life. And how much is the MGuard? $1,500. That is the price of a brand new iPhone. So this is my closing speech to a lot of my customers. I asked them, you could spend $1,500 on a new iPhone 17, I don't know what, Pro Max, that has a slightly better camera, slightly bigger screen, all right, maybe a little bit more clarity on the resolution, stuff like that. Or you could invest the same $1,500 on an MGuard that protects your family, your children, your elderly people at home, right, from radiation, and you get to start a business that you can bring it global. So which one has more value, ladies and gentlemen? Instantly, people talk about the MGuard, right? And later on, I'm gonna have a special announcement just for the American distributor. So stay until the end of the call, because it's a very, very important announcement. And don't say that you missed it later on, right? I'm gonna announce it later on. So because of that, myself and Mingwei, we've been invited. We have done so many sales of MGuard, both in Malaysia, Southeast Asia, and then our teams in Dubai and Europe and all over, that Mr. Shiro, Tomo, and Mr. Go invited us to also speak about MGuard all around the world. So we did seminars everywhere. Like this was in Rome, in Italy, and if you've not been to the Rome office, I highly suggest you guys go, because it is such a beautiful office. It is a 5-minute walk away from the Colosseum in Rome. 5-minute walk. It's beautiful, right? And then we also went to Portugal, Bulgaria, London, lots of distributors in London, right? Huge teams there. Bucharest, Romania. We went to France, all right? Nigeria. These are my people, right? So these are my 6As and above, and some 5As, 4As as well. And And these are all the people that have made it possible. And this is incredible country, incredible people. And look at this. So this was a very interesting event that Mr. Mingwei, my upline, told me that, Simon, could you do a seminar for my team in India? Right? And I said, okay, a team, right? All right. So I went over there, and the moment I saw the size of the hotel and all that, I said, okay, where is the meeting room? And I went into the meeting room the night before. There was a 6A and above leaders gathering, and that was over 100 people already. I said, okay, is this a training? He said, no, the main training is tomorrow. So the next day, when I went into the hall, there was 4,500 distributors in one room. And this is from one team. Not the entire Enagic India, ladies and gentlemen. One single team. Can somebody type what in the chat box? Honestly, I couldn't even see 90% of what's happening because there's a huge spotlight that shines onto the face. So I'm talking to, like, I don't know, 4,500 people. And they got so excited with the MGuard. And they're waiting for MGuard to get to India. And I can guarantee you this, the moment MGuard starts in India, Enagic will not be able to supply it because it's insane. All right. And I met a lot of you lovely people here on the Enagic's 51st anniversary convention that happened about 2 months ago in San Diego. So those of you who were at the San Diego event, type SD San Diego in the chat box. I think I met so many of you guys there. We did a 1,000 people training in one of the breakout sessions, right, the day before. And it was incredible, right? Energy was through the roof. People were getting excited. It was very, very good. I enjoyed it. All right. So my secret to ranking up, I would say that MGuard played a huge role. But I don't want to sit here and tell you that, oh, just because there's MGuard, you're going to sit down there and you're going to become a -3, -4. It's not going to happen, right? The reason I went from a 6A2, and from there I went all the way up to -4. So that's my testimonial. From 6A2, I went to -2 in April 2024, -3 June 2024, and then -4 in March 2025. It was an incredible 11 months. Worked really, really hard. Sleepless nights, but in a good way. And lots of work, demos every single day, Zoom calls every single day, meetings every day, 10 coffees a day, kind of a thing. And that was crazy. And I managed to go from 6A2 to -4 in 11 months. And MGuard played a huge role in that success. So for those of you who are on this call today and you want to learn how you can also use MGuard to get to the amount of success that I've been able to achieve, to get to the next rank, to get to the next income goal that you have, all right, I'm going to share with you guys how to do it. All right. So it's been very exciting. And I'm going to get back onto the same momentum train really soon because I'm hitting my -5 next year. That's my goal for myself. All right. So those of you who want to become a -3 with the MGuard, you want to rank up, type me in the chat box if you're gonna do it. The moment you put the message out there that I'm gonna be -3, I'm gonna be -4, the moment you put the message out there, ladies and gentlemen, the universe somehow, you can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it the all-knowing, somehow has a way of responding to you. But you have to take action. All right? The foundation can be laid for you, the path can be created for you, but you have to walk it. Nobody's gonna push you to go through it. You have to walk it yourself, and that's what I've been able to do. And today I'm very proud of it. I mean, we have our trees in Okinawa, Japan. We have our beautiful bonsai tree on the 18-hole golf course in Okinawa. All right, and we always go back there, and that's my tree on the left, and that's Mingwei tree on the right. We always go back there and make sure that, oh, is Enagic watering the tree properly? Are they putting the fertilizer, all that kind of stuff, right? And I used to tease Mingwei there, say, hey man, I think my tree looks a little bit better than yours, dude. Okay. He doesn't like it when I say it, yeah. So, so yeah. Now, so the MGuard, ladies and gentlemen, this is the MGuard. Okay, people tell me everywhere I go. People tell me that, hey, Simon. Oh, does my clicker work? Let me just try something. Let me just do something, guys. Clicker doesn't work. Reshare. Okay, people tell me, Simon, low-level radiation is not dangerous. Our human body can handle it. It's okay. I've been using this for 10 years. I don't have cancer. I don't have tumors. I don't have problems. I'm okay. All right. So people are going to tell you that. People are going to tell you, show me proof that this is killing me. Many people have told me that. And I said, sure, let me show you. Take a look at this, radiation and male fertility, a study on PubMed. This is not some blog spot by some random person. It has been studied and concluded with abstracts with the way they have been testing it. And radiation actually affects our fertility from the cell phones, towers, Wi-Fi, laptops, all these kind of things. Reduce in sperm count, motility, morphology, viability, and reduce in antioxidants. Why do we drink Kangen water, ladies and gentlemen? Because this stuff has high levels of antioxidants. But then again, we drink this stuff, then our body has all the amazing antioxidants, but then our environment is oxidizing the body. So this is how I sell. I said, Mr. Customer, if you truly want a holistic wellness approach, somebody type that in the chat box. Holistic wellness. Holistic means all round. You need to have Kangen in your home because 70% of the body is water. And you need to have the MGuard set up all across your house because you need to protect your environment because you have learned it from David that all these kind of frequencies didn't exist 50, 100, 200 years ago. We made it. It's not natural. If you live in the jungle somewhere middle of nowhere, Timbuktu, then you don't need the MGuard. But you're not living in Timbuktu, are you? Right? So you need the MGuard. Take a look at this. MDPI is another a website that I found it. Man-made electromagnetic fields and oxidative stress and consequences for health. All right? This is a Department of Biomedicine, University of Basel in Switzerland. Right? They talk about it. So who do you want to listen to? Somebody that says that, it's fine, it doesn't harm you, or do you want to listen to these guys who are credible, done their homework, scientists, researchers, and doctors? Impact of electromagnetic radiation emitted by monitors on changes in the cellular membrane structure and protective antioxidant effect of vitamin A. And these are just, I could go on and on and on. Effects of EMF on antioxidant defense system. World Health Organization press release 2011 classifies radio frequency electromagnetic field as possibly carcinogenic to humans. World Health Organization. France stops the sales of iPhone 12 over radiation levels. Do you want me to go more and more? I can go all day long. So up to here, people are like, okay, I got it. Because most people, I can't blame them because 99.9% of the people were not educated about radiation. So was I. I was not. Right? We don't talk about it in the school. Those of you who did medicine, I don't think it's part of medicine. I don't think it's part of nutrition. I don't think it's part of naturopathy. I don't know. I don't know where is it part of. It's a total segment by itself. So a lot of people don't get this information. So it is our duty right now to, as Enetic distributors, as MGuard distributors, to go out there and educate the public. And the moment you're able to educate well, all right, on the harm of radiation, selling the MGuard is cakewalk. It's a piece of cake. Because what do? All you need to do is to buy some of the tools, the BAJE, the RTL, the detectors that David has spoken about, and turn on and off the MGuard, and that's it. All right? iPhone, every iPhone has a warning sign that tells people to reduce exposure to RF, use a hands-free option, such as speakerphone, headphone, or other accessories is in your phone, right? They talk about it. So that's it, right? So I'm not going to go, David has done a great job on the product. I'm going to go more into the business side, and I'm going to give you guys some updates. So now the global pricing for the MGuard is about $1,500. In the US, it's $1,520, and that equates to 6,620 ringgit from Malaysia. All right, so it's about a 4.2, 4.3 conversion rate. Okay, from ringgit down back to the dollar. 4.2. You can use 4.2 or 4.3. Okay, so so this price is before taxes, and I think just now the admin has already sent in what do you call the purchase links for you guys to do it. If E-Link can do it again, but I have a special announcement today. That's why I called for this call so quick, is because the US, the White House, has actually put a tariff on Malaysia exports at 19%. Yay! Okay, 19%. So, well, this is something that we have to deal with it. So we need to, Enagic needs to respond to it and see what they can do about it. So what Enagic has done is, I think you guys are aware that the Kangen machine prices have gone up, right? As of the 1st of August, is that correct? For Enagic USA? Can somebody confirm it in the chat box? Right, Enagic USA. I think just for USA, not Canada, right? It's just, oh, September. Okay, September. Okay. And Canada. Okay. And Canada. September 1st. All right, not August 1st. Cool. So you guys still have a month to go for the cheaper, lower price machines. So for Enagic, for MGuard, I think what they have done for the Kangen machine, they have to increase the prices. But for the MGuard, because it's a relatively new product, Enagic wants to do their best to, oh, Canada already went up or did not go up. I don't know. Right. So they want to maintain the price of the MGuard as much as possible. So they don't want to put that extra cost or inflationary pressure onto the customers. So this is what Enagic has announced recently. I had a meeting with them as well, and that's why I wanted to call for this Zoom call so everybody's aware of this, that they're doing something to help us out. All right. So let's read this message together. This is from the Enagic headquarters. Dear valued distributors, we wish to inform you of the recent developments impacting MGuard shipments into the United States. Due to ongoing changes in the U.S. import tariffs on Malaysian goods, the cost of importing MGuard may be affected. As part of Enagic's continued commitment to supporting our distributor community, we are proactively introduced a temporary promotional price, which is not $1,500, but $1,225 for the MGuard, ladies and gentlemen. How? So somebody said, okay, I'm ordering now. Okay, I'm ordering now. Okay, wait, chill. Getting right now. Or chill. You're still gonna pay $1,500. Let me explain why. Okay, let me explain. So the product is $1,225. But of course, Enagic can't absorb the entire tariff. It's too much. Because those of you who know Enagic, Mr. Shiro, he runs on really thin margins because he pays out so much to the distributor. So it's not possible for him to absorb the entire 19%. So he does have to adjust. When he adjusts the price down, the commission also has to come down relative to the price. And I think that is fine. All right, that is what we call understandable. So the core commission per point, it used to be about $80, $80, $85, I can't remember. It has to go down to approximately $65. The exact amount is in ringgit, which is 284 ringgit. So it is around $65, and that depends on the what do you call that? It takes effect immediately. Please check with the office. I don't know how they're gonna do with it. So this is in effect immediately. That's why they have a new payment link, everything. So I think this is the price already on link, exactly. So I think the link was generated yesterday and it was sent out. So 284 ringgit per point, and that comes to $65, effective immediately. This special pricing is intended to help ease the impact of tariff adjustments and support your business through this transition. Once the tariff policy is fully implemented and reviewed, MGuard's price may return to the standard of $1,520. So please understand that this is a temporary price. We understand the challenges these changes bring and appreciate your partnership and resilience. Should you have any question, contact your support representative. So talk to the Enagic USA branch, all right? And I'm going to show you guys how to order it with this. When I say talk to the Enagic USA branch, it's those people that put in the orders some time ago, like maybe a week ago, or maybe even a couple of days ago. Talk to the company, okay? Now, this is what they're doing. So if you go to the Enagic shop, Malaysia, shop.enagic-my.com, the link is on the above, and the link is also shared in the chat box already. If I can trouble Elin to post it again in the chat, like just spam it. So guys, I would have to just ask for your cooperation not to type anything in the chat box for the next 1 minute. Don't type anything in the chat box for the next 1 minute. So I want everybody to copy this link. All right. It is the new link for USA distributors. Now, for Canada, because there's no tariff. There's no tariff. Canadian, the what do you call, government is doing onto Malaysia. It maintains the same. The only reason why Enagic is doing a lower price for the USA is because the moment you guys pay 5,200 ringgit, or equivalent to $1,225, when it goes to the US, you have to pay a 19% tariff. Of course, you have to pay for your shipping as well and a 19% tariff. The price would come back to around the same as before. So far, so good. You guys get that, right? But Canada, Mexico, all the other countries, they're not affected. So status quo. Status quo. So this link or this purchase is only for USA distributors. So far, so good. All right. So I think this is I think it's a good news because I can see that Enagic is not just increasing the price for the MGuard, they're actually looking for a solution and needs the distributors to also understand where they're coming from. And I think they're doing a great job supporting us. So let's give a big round of applause for them. Okay. And then when you go to the link, there's a form, email it to everything is there, and CC to mguardsales@enagic-my.com. So everything is on the Enagic shop, which is the link. All right. So go figure. Go figure. Okay. Yeah. So for Canada, maintain the same. Okay. And this link is only accessible by American distributors. They did something to the IP, and only your American IDs can buy it anyways. Yeah. So that's cool. All right. So we're done with that topic. Now I have my last thing that I want to share with you guys. What if you knew about Kangen Water before it was launched in USA and Canada 20 over years ago? What if? I think if there's an opportunity that you guys can go back in time, all right, and if so, some of you are hiding the time machine in your garage. If you can go back in time to be the first to start Kangen in the US and Canada. I think many of us would jump into this time machine and go back to be number one. So I'm somebody that wants to be number one, but the thing is, when I joined the Enagic business, Kangen was already in Malaysia for 2 to 3 years. So I'm not the number one. I wasn't the first person. But when I saw the MGuard, I told myself that I may not be the first person to start Kangen in Malaysia, but I can be the first person to do MGuard in Malaysia and all around the world. And that's what I tell myself. And that's what I did. And the moment you want to be a pioneer of something, you can't behave or take action or decide like a follower. Because in Enagic, there are two types of distributors. I think most of you guys here on this call, you belong to the second type. The first type are the 95%, the masses, people who wait for things to happen, people that wait for their upline to tell them what to do, people who wait for company to do something for them. And then there's the 5% that says that I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. I see an opportunity, I'm going to do it myself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 years ago, I knew nothing about MGuard. I compressed my timeline by learning everything that I needed to know about this technology and radiation and all this kind of stuff within 2 weeks. Right? And I went out there and I started banging on doors, doing demos, going back to my old customers, my teams everywhere. And I get questions, I don't know how to answer. I get back home, I ask David, I ask the team, and that's how I learn, right? So if you want to be a pioneer for this, you go through challenges, right? Because why do people like to join new network marketing companies? I believe in the States or Canada, you guys have new network marketing companies. Now, it could be because they have a new product, they want to be number one, it's exciting. But what usually happens to most companies? 90% of them go out of business within the first 2 years. Am I right? Now this doesn't just apply to network marketing business. This applies to restaurants, gyms, spas, everything, right? They go out of business. So it's risky for people to start a new company altogether. But soon in the US, in North America, the company will launch the MGuard officially. I think they are trying to manage the production. There could be other reasons. I don't know why. Because MGuard is so new that even the Asian market and all that, the demand has already been overwhelming for the company. So soon in the US, you guys will have the MGuard officially. And then you have a 51-year-old company called Enagic to distribute the MGuard. This is how I think, because I don't look at MGuard as just another product of Enagic. Oh, I can sell the Kangen, I can sell the MGuard. No, I look at MGuard as a complete new business because, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people that are unable to join Enagic because the Kangen machine is too expensive for them. And I know you guys over there in North America, the income is significantly higher than the rest of the world, I would say. But then there is still that big a group of people that are still struggling to make ends meet, that are still going paycheck to paycheck. All right, don't have more than $1,000 in a saving. A lot of them, right? So a lot of them need something that is a lower entry to get into our company. And I believe you can use the MGuard, right? Who here can see what I'm seeing? Type 1 in the chat box. That you're providing a lower entry cost, able to target maybe even younger people, people in their 20s, people in their 30s that doesn't have that kind of financial means to come into Enagic first. And then later on, they can get the Kangen machine. Once they made up some commissions, once they are okay, they get it, right? So guys, it is a new market altogether because I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me. You would have met so many people that you have spoken to about Kangen that said no to you. That said, I'm fine with my Aquafina. I'm fine with drinking tap water. I don't need your $4,000, $5,000 machine. Anybody have gotten this before? Type me in the chat box. Oh, alkaline water doesn't work. I don't need it. Right? It's overpriced. So many things. I've gotten so many rejections. All right. So there are a huge segment of people that have said no. In fact, there are more people that have said no to you with Kangen than said yes to you, right? Because normally we get about 10 to 15 or 20% closing ratio. So definitely there are more people that said no. That is the time you have to come back and tell them about the MGuard. They may say no to the water, but they could say yes to you with the MGuard. Many people have done that in my team. All right. So you get the opportunity, you get the excitement, you get the earning potential of a new business, but you're not exposed to the risk of a new business. That's how I see it. Right? So my experience with MGuard since May 2023, how to get to 6A in the shortest time possible using the MGuard. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here going to share with you my simple strategy. It's very simple, actually. I think a lot of people have all kinds of strategies. I don't want to say that this is the hard and fast rule or this is the only way, but I like to keep things simple. And I like to make things that it's duplicable, right? So this is my strategy. MGuard is a one group sale, right? So you can get from 1A to 5A, no problem with MGuard. All right. Why do I say 1A to 5A? Is because for you to become a 6A, even if you have sold 100 MGuards, you have 100 group sales, but you don't have $300,000 of sales value. You guys know that, right? Because you need $300,000 sales value. So MGuard sales value, it's $1,480. So even if you do 100 MGuards, that's 148,000, right? So you don't qualify the second requirement. So that's why I say MGuard is one group sale all the way up to 5A. So you can sell 50 MGuards and you can become a 5A. So you used to need to sell 50 Kangen machines to become a 5A. Now 50 MGuards are a 5A. Hasn't the game been changed? Hasn't the entire process been shortened? Hasn't your path to success been shortened if you guys wake up to the opportunity? But the problem is a lot of people are sleeping. All right. So it is one group sale. It is only considered 0.5 group sale for two situations. And the first situation is your title bonus requirement. So those of you who are getting to 6A, you need 10 group sales in the month of rank up to get your $3,000 6A rank up title bonus, right? So for that 10 group sales, it is 0.5. All right. So if you need 10 group sales for the month of rank up, you'll need 20 MGuards. Is that clear so far? Now, some people tell me, Simon, only 0.5. All right. Kangen is 1. I tell them, you got to do some math. Is it what math? I said, you got to do some math because, okay, I saw some comment. Okay, I will address that. You got to do some math because the MGuard is $1,500, right? How much is the K8? Can somebody type in the chat box? How much is the K8 in the US? I don't know. How much is the K8? Almost 6,000? Okay. Okay, almost 6,000, right? Yeah, okay, great. So almost 7 after September. Oh my God. Woo! Okay, so let's say it's $5,480. The MGuard is $1,500. It is barely 50% of the price of the K8. You take 1,500 over $5,500, it is 27%. The MGuard is 27% of the price of the K8, but the company is giving you 0.5 count for title bonus requirement. Is that good or is that gooder? Doing some math? Good, right? So please do your math. The company could have easily made the MGuard 0.3 because it's not even 30%. It's 27%. It's gooder. Thank you. All right. Please don't use that English. Okay. So it is phenomenal. Thank you, Jordan. All right. So it's really good. So what is the 6A requirement? 100 group sales and $300,000 in sales value. So this is how I did it. All right. This is how I did. Oh, VV said after September, it'll be like 6 grand. So 6 grand. Somebody asked the MGuard, how long can it last? I've been told that the minimum lifespan is 5 years or more, so it could be 10 years. I don't know. Time will tell, right? But the manufacturer claims that 5 years is the minimum. Okay, so if it's 6 grand, then you take 1,500 divide 6,000, so that's 25%. Yeah, so they're paying you double the bonus actually. So if you're smart, you gotta take advantage of it. So what was my secret? It was simple. I didn't have a complex strategy. 50 MGuards, 50 K8. Or now you even have the new machine, the SD51DX, right? Because the SD51DX, what I like about it is I think it looks good. It's a little bit more boxy. It's more analog, which I like. And it's same. It has the same sales value as the K8, but it's selling for cheaper, right? So I like it. So 50 MGuards and 50 K8. That gives you 100 group sales and $323,000 in sales value. So what do? I do the combo. I sell a combo. Everybody that buys MGuard buys K8 together, and everybody has 2 accounts. And the moment you have 2 accounts, the moment you sell the combo, you earn double the commissions. So 100 group sales and 323, because every home needs both. You only need 50 clients to become a 6A. And some of you are even selling the spa and a spa or other products, so you need even lesser. Okay, now so this is it. You want to keep it simple? This is the simpler one. 50 MGuard, 50 Kangen. Everybody buys 2. Some people they buy 1 Kangen machine, 2 MGuards, because they use the 2 MGuards to block their 1A lanes so they can start as a 2A. You guys following? Because let's be real, you need more than this. Who here has more than 1 MGuard? Type me in the chat box. I have 3 set up in the home. I have 1. I have a couple. I have more than 10. I think more than 10 going around. It's around, right? I don't know where they are, but they're around. So people would buy 1 K8, 2 MGuards. You're getting 3 group sales, 1 person, right? They can start as a 2A. So it's even faster. You need much fewer than 50 clients to become a 6A. Okay. So what I like about the MGuard, what I like about the Kangen machine is it's a compelling product. I like to sell products that are compelling, that when you see it, you're like, wow, I want it. It is a demo-able product. I created this word. It doesn't exist. All right. The demo-able is a created word. Basically, it's a product that you can demo to people. That is how it works. Most of these anti-radiation stickers, pendants, or whatever, right? There are no demo. There's no demo you can show. MGuard, there's demo. Very, very powerful. All right. It is a great tool to revive idle distributors. A great tool to revive idle distributors. Okay. So some people say they are rip-off. I don't know about that, but it's okay. So we don't talk bad about other brands. So everything works. Let's focus on what works best for us. Are you guys still seeing my screen? Am I still sharing my screen? Yeah? Okay. I can't see my screen. Okay. All right. So it is a great tool to revive idle distributors in your network. Who here you have distributors that have gone to sleep? Type me. Deep sleep. Type me in the chat box. You have, right? Some of them not doing it anymore. maybe selling one every 6 months, showing up for meetings one every year, once every annual meeting as though it's Christmas, right? So guys, this is the time for you guys to go back to all your idle distributors in your network to revive them. I've managed to do it to many of my distributors that were sleeping before. Not all, because there are two types of distributors that are idle. There are distributors that have gone to sleep, and there are distributors that are in a deep coma. Those who are in a deep coma, I don't waste my time with them. All right? I let them go. All right? So use this. And lastly, duplication. I find that okay, somebody asked, Rich, how's it going, man? Rich asked how many global sales of the MGuard so far. I think it's about 30K, if I got my numbers correctly. 30,000 MGuards so far globally. Okay, yeah. So those are a deep coma. Forget about them. All right, duplication. So duplication. Let me ask you this. Let's say you're comparing two products. Both products are amazing, right? Kangen, MGuard, both are great. But if you talk about easier to demo with a detector, which is easier to demo, the Kangen machine or the MGuard? Put your answer in the chat box and be honest. Which is easier for a new person to demo, MGuard or the K8? Which is easier for demo? All right. A lot of you guys are saying MGuard. Some people say Kangen is easy also. I say, yeah, could be both easy. Depends how you do it. But I find this is a lot easier. So when you have something that's easy to demo, then you literally get better duplication. Because if something that's harder to demo, it takes longer for people to learn how to do it. And the longer it takes, the lesser the duplication. It's as simple as that. But if it's easy, some of my team now, when they buy the MGuard, I get them to get all their detectors. The next day, they're doing the demos. Some of my Kangen members, they join. After 6 months, they're still calling for their upline to do the demo, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have these people in your team. Still calling the upline. Please help me do the demo. Please help me show the demo. I don't know how to do it. All right. And I'm somewhat of a savage. I'll go to my team and I'll tell them that if you need me to come all the way to you and to turn on and off the MGuard, I'm not doing it. You can do it. Okay. So it's easy. You need to upgrade, ladies and gentlemen. You need to upgrade your skills, your mindset, your confidence, your faith, and your energy if you want to be successful in this Enagic business. You can have all the skills, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to go very far. You need all 5 things. And later, Mingwei is going to talk about a very powerful event that's actually happening in Malaysia on the 27th and 28th of September. All right, he's going to talk more about it, but this is a must-attend event. No matter that you're all the way in Canada or the US, doesn't matter. Come for this event because it's going to help you to achieve all these 5 things. All right. So get ready now. The pre-launch is gold. All right. Is gold. Let me ask you this. When do you want to start MGuard business in US and Canada? Now or after its launch? Maybe next year. Let's say. I don't know when they're going to launch it yet. Some of you think that I know everything about MGuard. I don't know. Okay. I'm just a distributor just like you. So when do you want to start? You want to start next year? Let's say next year they launch, or do you want to start now? When do you want to do it? You see, there are 2 types of people. Again, the 95% and the 5%. The 95% is saying, MGuard is not in the US. I have to order it from Malaysia, and then I have to wait. I have to pay the tariff, and then I have to do all these things just to get the product in. That's okay. Let me wait for the officers to launch it. It's easier. And then there's payment plan, there's financing. It's so much easier. That's the 95% talking. But if you belong to the 5%, you'll be saying, no, the fact that it's hard, the fact that it is troublesome makes me want to do it more because I know not many people want to do it. That is the mentality of the 5%. So who here, you belong to the 5% mentality? Type 5% in the chat box because only the 5% are going to be the top leaders of this company. It is the 5% that's going to be taking massive action, making fast and quick decisions, and you guys are going to rise to the top, becoming the -3, -4, -5 of the company. That's all that matters, right? So the pre-launch is go, and let me tell you this, there's not going to be another pre-launch for MGuard in the US and Canada. It's only going to happen once. The moment he's launched, the whole US gonna know about it. Then it's no longer pre-launch anymore. So take this opportunity and make it your home run. Okay? And I think David shared about this just now, which is the MGuard to the world. So if you're not in it yet, go and get it. Okay? Very, very important. All right? Very, very important. So go into the Facebook and I'm going to teach you guys how to navigate it. So I'm gonna quickly share my screen because I think a lot of you guys are in the group, but you're not using it. All right. Some people think that they just join a group and then it's going to change their life. Very funny, right? So let me show you guys how to use it. So here. Okay, so I think you guys can see my screen. So far, this group, we already have 7,100 members. Some of you are laughing when I said that because that's probably you, right? I joined it already, so I'm going to be 682-3. Okay. So 7,100 members, MGuard to the world. Now, here is where we're going to post up all our training. So even this one, right? The training that you're attending today has been posted. Okay, and then we have some India training. We did a really good event here in Kuala Lumpur for Indian distributors just 2 days ago, right? Okay, so a lot of stuff. And we also run some contests on banners, posters, stuff like that. In fact, congratulations for those of you who won the banner contest. Okay, so go through the guides and don't take a month to go through 12 guides. Okay, does the new people get the discounted rate too? Yes, the $1,225 or 5,200 ringgit is for all purchases in the US. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for coming to this Zoom. Okay, but unfortunately, we have the tariff from the US, so it's good. How long is the promotion for? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Donald Trump, so I don't know. All right. So thank you very much for coming onto this Zoom. It's been a pleasure hosting you guys and talking about it. Take action. Don't listen to all this information from David, such a powerful session. Don't listen to the information I've given to you. And if you listen to all these things and you don't take any action, nothing is going to change. You will still maintain the same place, same income, same rank. You need to take action because it is the action, the decision, the energy. Brandon, good to see you again. You inspire me, brother. That is going to transform your life. Okay, so thank you very much, Ming, for being here today. Back to Mingwei. He has some incredible announcement as well, and maybe a few words from him. And without Mingwei, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today because he was the guy that shared about Kangen and Enagic to me over 10 years ago. Without him, none of this would have been possible. So really grateful to you, brother, and it's been an incredible journey, and I look forward to many more years of building this together. It's been incredible. I hope to see you guys soon, maybe somewhere around the world. Take care, guys. See you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you so much, my brother, Mr. Simon Loh. Guys, what I love about him is that he's not Enagic staff. He's not related to you guys in the Enagic business anyway. But because he made such a great big success of MGuard, and Mr. Shiro kindly said and asked and requested Simon to share about MGuard to the world, he, from the bottom of his heart, he's so generous. He said, yes, sure, why not? So thank you again, Simon and David, for their amazing sharings. And like Simon said, I was the person who introduced him to this business. But let me share a little bit about the person who introduced me to this business, which was my father, Mr. Amos Sia, also known as Mr. Sam Sia. Now, my dad was the person who took a small little tiny country called Malaysia and made it the #1 selling branch in the world for Kangen machines. He didn't stop there. He had a vision to go global in Enagic. So he, along with myself, we went to expand this amazing business into a beautiful place called India. 2023, India was the #1 selling country in the world. And then we went to expand it in the Middle East, in Dubai, the UAE. After that, we also went to Turkey. And Turkey, the beginning of the year, we were the #1 selling country in all of Europe. And of course, Simon also, along with my dad, they went to expand this business in Africa. So guys, if you want to learn how Simon built his business, if you want to learn how my dad built his business, you want to learn how I built my business, what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you guys to come visit us in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure hosting you guys. I know it's a bit late for you guys now on the East Coast. It's 11 p.m. You guys are getting ready for bed. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this amazing Zoom. And I just want to say again, one more big thank you to Enagic. You see, Enagic, they're so helpful, you know? They already resisted increasing the prices for as long as they could. When it's almost like impossible, then they had no choice but to increase the prices a little bit. And because AmGuard is new for you guys, and a lot of you guys are so excited from the response, they've actually decided to reduce the price for you guys in the USA so that you guys, when it comes landed and you have to pay for your taxes, it is amounting to about the same price. So guys, thank you so much again to Mr. Shiro and Mr. Tomo for being such great leaders for our Enagic company and doing this for us. I really appreciate them. Truly, truly wonderful. So guys, I hope to see you guys again. I hope to see you guys all visit us in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Please come. All right, Dr. Pinky, I'll see you in Kuala Lumpur. So guys, thank you once again. And that is it from myself and everyone. All right, I hope to see you guys soon again. All right, thank you guys so very, very much.